Good evening and welcome to the channel's studios here in London with your international news around the world in 5. Russian President Vladimir Putin has rejected Western proposals for a reassurance force in Ukraine the day after any ceasefire comes into place following a Paris summit aimed at finalizing plans for security guarantees. French President Emmanuel Macron said 26 of Ukraine's allies had formally committed to deploying troops by land, sea or air to help provide security the moment fighting was brought to a halt. He did not detail any of the countries involved. Mr. Putin sought to quash the allies' initiative with a warning that any troops deployed to Ukraine would be legitimate targets.
As far as we can understand, they're speaking about ensuring security guarantees for Ukraine by deploying European forces, European regiments in Ukraine. Thus, they're returning back to the main reason of the conflict. The main reason of the conflict was the attempt of NATO to infiltrate into Ukraine, thus endangering our country. So we consider it a danger for us, presence of international forces or any foreign forces or NATO country forces on the soil of Ukraine next to our borders. So in our understanding, it will not help us get closer to the solution of the Ukrainian conflict.
I was here as a senator just a few years ago, and now I've returned for the first time as Secretary of State. We had a very productive meeting, and we have a lot to work on together. Obviously, the issue of security came up.
Secretary of State Marco Rubio has said the US will blow up foreign crime groups if needed, possibly in collaboration with other countries. He also announced the US will designate two of Ecuador's largest criminal gangs, Los Lobos and Los Choneros, as foreign terrorist organizations. The comments come days after US forces carried out a strike on a boat in the Caribbean Sea. The White House says it killed 11 drug traffickers, though it did not release their identities. At least 15 people have died in a new outbreak of the Ebola virus in the Democratic Republic of Congo. The presence of the virus had been confirmed in a 34-year-old pregnant woman who was admitted to hospital last month after showing symptoms, who died a few hours later from multiple organ failure. This will be the 16th outbreak of the deadly virus in the Central African state and is suffering a conflict in the east. Aid workers on donkeys have delivered the first humanitarian supplies to survivors of a landslide that reportedly killed hundreds of people in a remote mountain village in Sudan's western Darfur region. Heavy rains and flash floods that hit Tarasin village, triggering the disaster on Sunday, have continued, meaning donkeys are the only way to reach the affected families. It remains unclear how many people died. Thailand's parliament has chosen business tycoon Anutin Charnvirakul as the country's prime minister, the third in 2 years after yet another leader was removed from office. Paetongtarn Shinawatra, who belongs to Thailand's most powerful political dynasty, was removed by the Constitutional Court last week for ethical violations over her handling of the border dispute with Cambodia. Anutin's Bamjaitai party broke from the coalition led by the Shinawatras and secured enough support in parliament to win the premiership. But the uncertainty may not be over for Thailand, which has seen multiple administrations deposed by court interventions and military coups in the recent past. The oldest member of the British royal family, Catherine, the Duchess of Kent, has died at the age of 92. Buckingham Palace said she passed away peacefully at Kensington Palace, surrounded by her family. In a statement, they said her family will remember fondly her lifelong devotion to all the organisations she was associated with, her passion for music, and her empathy for young people. And it's been revealed that David Bowie's secret final project was a musical set in 18th century London. Notes found locked in his study revealed plans for a show called The Spectator. He was inspired by the contrast between the era's vibrant society and notorious crime. Had it been completed, the musical would have realised one of Bowie's lifelong ambitions. Fans can view the original notes when the Bowie Centre opens in London's V&A East on the 13th of September. And that's your international news around the world in 5. Now back to the channel's studios in Lagos.